So let's take a closer look at today's events with Capitol Hill correspondent Lisa Desjardins and White House correspondent Yamiche Alcindor. Hello to both of you. So Lisa, tell us a little about what we learned new from the Attorney General today.
Well, of course, it depends on your perspective. Republicans that you talked to today say they were happy because they feel there was more insight into Barr's rationale for not charging the president with obstruction. That they think Barr made the case that the president felt that the investigation was politically motivated and that the investigation itself was the problem, the threat to democracy. So Barr says he believes that rationale and therefore he doesn't think this is obstruction. Republicans like that. Democrats say they think Barr undermined his own credibility in several ways, one of which they say he couldn't explain or couldn't say for sure if the White House had pressured him to investigate everyone. Also, they say just on the overall idea of Russia, they feel he wasn't strong and, in fact, did not say point blank campaigns should avoid working with foreign adversaries. So Democrats feel good about it as well. Also feeling good, Kamala Harris, the presidential candidate, she seems to have stood out for her sharp and controlled questioning today.
And we aired just a little bit of that. So Yamiche, picking up on what Lisa was saying, what do we learn from this in addition to what we knew before about Barr's relationship with the White House, with the president?
Well, what's clear is that Attorney General Bill Barr is willing to defend his reputation and the reputation of the president when push comes to shove. There were several key exchanges there. The first being that Attorney General Barr wouldn't say whether or not he had substantive conversations with the president or the White House about criminal investigations that are ongoing. He also wouldn't say whether or not the president had suggested that he investigate people. So he said, I haven't been directed to do that, but he wouldn't say whether or not that was a suggestion that the president made, which is key there. The other thing, Senator Mazie Hirono put a real quick question to Barr. She said, can the president or should the president direct the White House counsel to lie? He would not answer that question. Bill Barr would not answer that question. And as a result, the senator said, you're acting like Kellyanne Conway, who is, of course, the White House counselor, and you're acting like Rudy Giuliani, who is the president's personal attorney. On the Republican side, we saw a party that was really using the language of President Trump and saying that a lot of this testimony was about the fact that people were angry at the outcome of the 2016 election.
So Yamiche, picking up on what you're saying, what is the White House saying today about what Barr had to say, this whole exchange today?
The White House is very pleased with the way that Attorney General Bill Barr handled himself. Kellyanne Conway, of course, again, the White House counsel, the White House counselor, rather, she said that this was really about the fact that Democrats are out there looking desperate. She said people need to move on, and this really made Congress look partisan. I was on the phone with a White House source today who told me that Attorney General Barr acquitted himself professionally, especially in light of what he called, or what that person called, the Democrats' partisan political attacks. Add to that to the fact that now we know for a fact, as news that were broke today, that Attorney General Barr isn't going to be going to the House to testify tomorrow. And my sources tell me that now we're going to end up with the House subpoenaing the Attorney General Barr to come to the House. And as a result, you're going to see that back and forth with the White House really defending Barr and saying that it's a political attack against him.
So Lisa, since we now know he's not going to appear before the House committee, what's going to happen with House Judiciary? What are they going to do, and where are both the House and the Senate headed?
Right, Yamiche has great reporting there that they are heading towards subpoenas, and I talked to a source who's involved in the decision-making here, indicating that contempt of Congress is on the table here should the Attorney General refuse subpoenas, refuse to testify going down the road. Now, there is precedent for that. Attorney General Eric Holder was held in contempt of Congress. That ended up in a lengthy court battle. He was never put in jail because of that. And that sort of shows you the calculus here on the White House side. A lot of times, these standoffs with Congress go to court, and the White House has been able to sort of call Congress's bluff. Democrats are upset. They're going to make a move here. But what they really want, Judy, is information. So part of this is negotiating out with the Attorney General to try and get more information. So far, he's saying a hard no.
Well, today was a contentious day, yes. And even though there's no testimony tomorrow, we know we're going to be hearing a lot more. Thank you, Lisa Desjardins, Yamiche Alcindor. Thank you.
Thanks.